Okay, I got my design ready.
Shut down.
Well, it's 2023. It's been about 2 years since the great and amazing, utterly breathtaking Ruination, and the League community has been tepid ever since. The great and demonic warlord that is the Ruin King has come and gone, sealed away with the great effort of the Sentinels, and finally returning the Blessed Islands back to glory.
Oh, I say, this is rather uncomfortable.
Trash and Vex are vanquished, Gwen and Senna have found a new lease on life, and the Law of Yorick, Hecarim, Callista, and Maokai have finally come to a close, and the story of League is all the better for... What? Sorry? What do you mean it was horrible and nothing happened like the way you said? What do you mean bad visual novel? No. I mean specifically, what do you mean? Pike and Rengar are what? Okay. You're not here for the Ruination. I get that. I'm not gonna go through all of that again, because if you put in the keywords Ruination and bad in YouTube, you'll find about 65 Necrit videos on it. And, hot take, I didn't hate it. Not completely. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I play a Viego deck and a Gwen deck. I have the card sleeve with Viegos on it. Yeah, laugh it up. Get it out of your system. Alright, enough laughing. Alright, shut up. Before I talk about the game itself though, I want to make it clear. This isn't a high bar. The reason why Ruin King isn't as big of a hit as it could be isn't because it's a bad game. The reason why Ruin King was ignored is mostly because of 3 main reasons. 1. The event was shit. No one wanted to play a game where they got to see Viego, Miss Fortune, or God forbid Senna for 24 hours instead of the usual 15 minutes. At least during the time that they were being played in every game. Now, if you're thinking, you're such a washed up scrubby. They're all pretty mid-RN, no cap. They used to be some of the most oppressive people in the game, so I guess you had to be there. IG 2. The game is made by Riot Forge, a third-party publishing company that publishes indie games. They're not actually Riot, so you won't see a 5-minute ad about Ruin King on Twitch anytime soon. 3. This is an RPG game being made and marketed for a MOBA player base. A player base that is notorious and second son infamous for watching absolutely nothing else. The game peaked at 16k on Steam. Really decent for an RPG, don't get me wrong, but for a League of Legends IP? League is 180 million players. Seriously, I was shocked when I did the research on how little attention this game was actually getting, even though it was League of Legends. It made no sense to me that a League RPG was getting this little attention. Also, I will be releasing a full review of Ruin King, chapter by chapter, a bit of time after this video to cover all bases. This review is spoiler free and will be focused on what a potential customer will be interested in. Here are the parts. Skip to whatever part you want.
God damn it, I love fishing. Fishing's my life, man.
Ruin King was released on November 16th, 2021 by Riot Forge and developed by Airship Syndicate. It's a log of LEGO story that is meant to be the playable prologue to the Ruination event, an event that has a questionable history. But don't let the Ruination make you think that this game sucks. The game's story is actually pretty well made, well written, and, well, exceptionally well voiced.
I'm embarrassed to admit that when we first met, I thought you might be a troll.
Understandable. Brom is big, but trolls are bigger. And
you control a team of champions, Illaoi, Brom, Yasuo, Miss Fortune, Pyke and Ahri, all of which are working together to fight back the Black Mist and fend off Viego. Illaoi is the all-rounder, with her tentacles being her gimmick that strengthens her abilities. She's fighting for Bilgewater because it's her job as Truthbearer to protect the place, even though there are a bunch of criminals that deserves nothing but Robespierre's razor. She has a taunt that gives her more tentacles when she gets hit, self-healing because she's Illaoi, and excellent healing for her other teammates. Braum is the tank. Duh! With his shield blocking damage for his team with a reliable taunt, and can also stun people with his passive concussive blows. He came to Bilgewater after his ship got wrecked by the Black Mist. Yasuo is the crit focused damage dealer, as you would expect. He's Ahri's bodyguard, so that's why he's here. Miss Fortune is the ADC with a focus on evading attacks. She's the new queen of Bilgewater and wants the mist gone. Ahri is the magic damage dealer and healer, healing much more than everyone else. She's here for a reason that I cannot say anything more about because the story is spoiler filled. Pyke, as you would guess by now, is the
one-shotting monster,
but he can only target one person. He's here because he's Pyke and he likes killing, and Virgo's on his list. No joke, right? I love all 6 of them. All the 6 champions have instances in which they talk to each other. There is never a case in which 2 of the 6 characters have never interacted in any situation. For example, Illaoi and Braum has the flirting line by Illaoi in the normal game explored upon. Ahri and Yasuo have their moments, and Miss Fortune and Pyke go from hating each other to being okay with each other.
So how many captains have you killed?
a lot,
They put up much of a fight?
a few,
Any you regret?
none. Yet.
Poetic. I'd swear that's a veiled compliment.
You didn't ask me if I enjoy it.
Do you?
Yes.
Alright.
They interact with each other a lot more than typical RPGs do, and that's probably the strongest part of Ruined King because of how much they build up the personality of the 6. Since I'm a League player, these interactions build upon the already set foundations
Finally, a man who won't break.
and turn them from stylistic champions to full-fledged characters. I can't talk more about the character growth without spoiling them, but just understand that all 6 of them have equal attention given. You can have up to 3 at a time in the combat party though, which makes team synergies and build strategies surprisingly freeform and up to your discretion. Sometimes you might want to run a fully tanky team like Illaoi, Braum, or Ahri, or a full damage team like Miss Fortune, Yasuo, and Pyke, or a mix between the two. The experience you get from killing enemies are split up equally with everyone, so that means no one will ever fall too far behind. You can also upgrade their abilities as you go through the game, which change the playstyle due to the types of upgrades available. Considering how League is very meta-focused in comparison, I was pleasantly surprised at how the upgrade system gave so many options for the characters. Simple and yet surprisingly effective. But before we can talk about the upgrade system, we have to talk about the combat.
Ken.
Ruined King runs on a lane combat system, trying to be funny because League has lanes and all that shit, right? There are 3 main lanes. Speed lane, where you use the skills faster but they do less damage. The balance lane, where it just does normal damage and normal speeds. And the power lane, where you use your skills much slower but they do a bit more damage. It makes the fights feel weighty and unique, but if you're playing anything below veteran, you will have no need to worry at all. Just spam E and you're done. But if you're doing that, that means you're playing for the story. The balance in the game is split up between story, normal, veteran, and heroic. Let me translate that for you, alright? There's baby mode, easy, normal, and hard. I call it baby mode because they immediately tell you they can just skip through all of the battles that you don't want to play through, which kind of defeats the purpose of it being an RPG. But considering that this is the mobile player community I'm talking about, that loses their mind if I take a custom minion from the lane, God forbid, I can understand why they expect the pain tolerance of their players to be so low. As for me, I personally chose veteran because I wanted a decent challenge without torturing myself, and I was still surprised at how balanced the encounters were. I never felt as if I was being handheld or being tortured by the game, and each of the champions carried their weight extremely well. I actually felt like I was playing rather than just spamming the same thing over and over again, which is also helped by the great animations.
Round.
As for how you start combat, the enemies will be moving around in the overworld, and to get the jump on them, you can use the champion's abilities to hit them first to get some bonuses. These abilities can also work on the overworld, but the points of which you can use these abilities are pretty rare. And the abilities themselves are a bit gimmicky, and some of the first hit bonuses that you get are clearly better than others. Illaoi gets a free tentacle if she starts the fight. Braum gets a free stack of his passive on the enemies to get them stunned faster. Yasuo slows them, damages them, reduces their initiative, does your taxes, cooks you dinner, gives you a hand. Miss Fortune bounces a bullet off the first target to another, dealing heavy damage to both. Ahri gets 3 stacks of her passive to let her heal faster. Pyke just pulls them. That's all. It's supposed to have you get them away from each other to kill them one by one, but because of how small the maps are, you're probably gonna have to fight them anyways. But it feels good to hook them, so it's the best. I will take no criticism. None, I tell you, none! Jokes aside, this is why Yasuo's my go-to DPS in my team because of how good his bonuses are. When in combat, he's still really good, but there's not really any reason for me to take him out of the team since his first strike capability is so good. Talking about first strike. Alright, now we can talk about the upgrade system. It's an RPG, of course it's going to have upgrades. There are two ways to upgrade your characters, upgrade points and runes. For upgrade points, you can upgrade all of your character's skills based on their level. There are two paths of which you can choose to upgrade your character, each having their own perks. You can't pick the same two upgrades for the same node, and because of the limited number of points, this makes it so that your upgrades will be almost 100% different from the other players. The other way to upgrade is through runes, where bonus effects and buffs for your character can have runes slotted in. For example, this Ilaoi rune lets me heal at the end of every fight. This Yasuo rune removes a crit damage reduction on his passive. And this Braum rune does fuck all! The level customization is really great and gives the level of control upgrade freedom that both simplifies the typical skill trees in RPGs and improves them, letting you have a strategy that you find to be the best, but still being unique in its own way. I personally prefer a full tank Ilaoi with a full heal Ahri and a full damage Yasuo. I believe that is the best way to run the game, but you might disagree. Who knows, just try the game out and prove me wrong. It's Gwen, look at that. All RPGs have side quests. This game is no exception. And unlike many of the other RPGs I played, looking at you, Shin Megami Tensei 5 for the Nintendo Switch, the side quests are great. I usually absolutely loathe side quests because of how tedious they are, but Ruin King doesn't force you to do side quests unless you actually try to appreciate the world, or trying to get at the ultimate or like, you know, the legendary weapon. But let's not talk about that, eh? You don't need these third ultimates or legendaries to finish the game, but they're nice to have, and that just means one more animation to use. There are places in Build Order that you think, well, I'm sure it's just a shop or something, and then a nice little side quest or event pops up and you get a pleasant surprise. Ruin King rewards you for exploring the world as much as you can. The rewards can be a little lackluster, but it's still a reward. Sometimes it's a decoy chest for enemies to walk up to you with the good old well. Sometimes it's the reward of you completing a mini puzzle. It's little fun tidbits to get you more interested in the world. It gets a bit tedious at times, but if you play RPGs at all, it's a pretty decent experience.
You're watching me.
Do I frighten you?
If that's your goal, you'll have to try harder. You're not human. Not anymore. What happened to you?
I was betrayed, left for dead in the deep. Now darkness is my home.
Ooh, how edgy!
If you're wondering if the story is good and that's the only thing stopping you from buying the game because of how bad Ruination is, just buy it. It's a great story. I can't say anything about it because that would mean spoilers, so too bad. Compared to other RPGs, it's a decent story. But compared to whatever the fuck we got in the original novel, this is pretty much Riot's best work. But it's not perfect. On Veteran, I found myself constantly uncomfortable because they increased the health of the enemies by 10 times as compared to normal, which has caused my latent RPG Pavlovian instincts to farm despite the balance of the game. By the end of the game, I was so sick of the damage sponges that the only thing keeping me going was the idea of seeing the stories complete.
Okay. Here's the thing, right? You see the amount of HP he has right now? 160? If I was playing at the level I was playing just now, Veteran, he will have over 1,000. Okay? So here's the thing, right? If you say anything about how story on normal is somehow the way to play, right? I just want you to know that he has 10 times this HP, literally. And honestly, I'm so pissed I don't even give a fuck. I just want to get back to where I was.
You also get way too many potions. By the end of the game, I had potion numbers into the triple digits, which makes the game a lot easier if you abuse the potions. I choose not to do so because I never like using potions as part of the game plan, but they do make it easier to get out of extremely dangerous situations. But the problem is, the game bugs out when you have too many potions. I ended up going half the game without my revival potions, which made my experience a lot harder. Because apparently, just like League, they want to fuck me. It's very normal, you know. Fuck it, whatever. Moving on. There's also only two main locations, Bilgewater and the Shadow Isles. If you don't like either of these two regions, you won't like this game. The writing of this game is stellar, okay? The dialogue is great, it's really good. The only thing I can complain about it design-wise is how there's a walk speed and a run speed rather than just a universal run speed. Sometimes you might just forget to press the shift key to run, and you get annoyed because you were just moving from one place to another. The difference in speeds are so little that it's pretty much redundant, but it's just enough to dodge some overworld traps and make you really pissed off when you realize, oh shit, I didn't press shift. Oh my god, that's why I felt so slow. And I press shift and this, oh well, this feels so much better, but it's actually not. And finally, despite its stellar design, art and dialogue, I've run into text typos, audio bugs, and freeze frames, especially when I'm just starting up the game. The performance issues are a big issue in this game, and I think it's actually substantial enough for me to actually dock points from it simply because of the fact that it's not optimized, even though it's supposed to be League of Legends, and League of Legends is, well, a multi-billion-dollar company, yeah?
Alright, let's try this again.
No mercy.
Alright, so clearly, there's a bug.
But all of these are just little nitpicks. I didn't need to go veteran to make myself suffer. I didn't need to farm. I didn't need to look through every single bit of dialogue. It was my own choices, and I thoroughly enjoyed myself. The game is a wonderful experience and worthy of the League of Legends brand. The art is just absolutely breathtaking, and the voice acting alone redeems everything in this portion tenfold. It's an amazing game, and it would have been better for everyone involved if they received even more attention than they already have. I don't know if you can hear that, but I think that's gonna ruin my voice a bit forever. Ruin King is great. It has its rough edges, but its art direction, character design, dialogue, and combat systems make up for it a million times over. I've said this a million times in this video, but it's an RPG. You come in expecting an RPG, and I got an RPG. If you don't like RPGs, you won't like this game. Don't think that just because it has League's name on it, that means you magically like RPGs all of a sudden. But compared to whatever the fuck Ruination in the mobile was, the writing in this might as well be Riot's magnum opus. It's a decent story, but considering that it has the mad of Ruination on it, it's the best thing we got out of that hellhole. I'll be going into deeper detail in another video, but otherwise, it's a solid game that doesn't deserve the attachment of the event to its quality. It really is. It's a really good game. I really wish that more people would play it. I know that the RPG scares people away, but honestly, it doesn't deserve that kind of rap. Being attached to Ruination probably didn't help it a lot either. Oh well. 8.5 out of 10, gameplay did nothing wrong. Thanks so much for watching. This video was a lot longer than my usual videos, and I'm thinking of going to the commentary kind of deal. If you like what you see, please leave a like and subscribe if you can. It will really help a lot. Also, if you could leave a comment about whether or not this video was okay or not, because I don't really know how to do these kind of things, and you'll be helping me out a lot. Yep. Anyway, now off to do that 60-hour video. It won't be 60 hours, but it'll still be pretty long. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. If you reached this far, you must have really liked it, so thank you very much. See ya.